Coming up on SMTV News,
Find out how students can get help with job applications through career services at USM.
a recent fire happened at a local Hattiesburg apartment complex. More on this at the top of the newscast.
A new exhibition has opened at one of the McCain libraries that drives into scientific exploration. More on this coming up.
Also coming up, Gavin Blackshear has an update on USM's football and volleyball season.
All this and more coming up on SMTV.
Your SMTV newscast starts now.
From the Chuck Scarborough Studios on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi, this is SMTV News, the voice of the student.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie Perez-Munoz.
And I'm Kiara Fox. Here's our top story.
For USM students, seeking jobs might be more difficult with recent changes in the job market. One department on campus is taking steps to help students secure employment. SMTV's Sophia Vetrano has more.
Earlier this month, the amount of jobless benefits applications increased to 263,000. That's the highest it's been in America since October of 2021. A few weeks later, the amount of applications decreased. This indicates an unsteady job market. Assistant Director of Career Services Mackenzie Gray discusses how students can be ready for the job market after graduation.
The job market, in my opinion, is one that's a little bit difficult to navigate. But at the end of the day, if students prepare themselves, if they come to Career Services and they get the tips and tools that they need to help themselves stand out in the job search process and learn how to navigate a career fair, they will be much more successful in that job search. We provide them with tons of strategies and different ways to just make them stand out against the competition. So that will be the number one way to make sure that you level up your job search, would be to basically come visit us and we'll give you all the tools.
The unemployment rate in America has reached 4.3%. That's 7.4 million people without a job. So do students feel prepared to enter this unstable job market?
Yes, I do feel prepared to go into the job market. USM really dedicates a lot of resources and time. The professors really go out of their way to get to know other industry professionals and bring them into the school. I've already prepared for several career fairs just this next month and a bunch of different ways that I can meet people and work on my resume and better myself for interviews and possible jobs.
If you're unsure about your career after graduation, Career Services is here to help. Sophia Vetrano, SMTV News.
A local Hattiesburg apartment complex caught on fire, damaging 4 units and leaving multiple people homeless. The Hattiesburg Fire Department arrived on the scene around 2:00 a.m. to extinguish the fire. Hattiesburg Fire Department remained on the scene for hours, extinguishing the flames and to ensure that there was no risk of reigniting. USM student Deamber Watts was one of the many people affected by the fire. She claimed that it was hard watching the flames, but the support she has received has helped her in these tough times.
It's been a lot. It was definitely hard just being out here and seeing everything that I have get destroyed and watching it for hours and hours. But I've had a lot of support from close friends and from people like that my mom knows, my dad knows. So I've been able to get a lot of help.
Hattiesburg Fire Department has not released the cause of the fire.
The McCain Library has a new exhibition exploring the dark side of science. The collection is called The Messy History of Scientific Exploration. The collection features science from different herbs that are medically relevant to different technologies that help make the observations that we know of today. The exhibition examines how scientific discoveries, as groundbreaking as they might be, also raise ethical concerns.
So really, we just wanted to sort of highlight this sort of predecessor to what we think of, or very early developments in sort of what we think of as modern scientific development.
Some of the highlights of the exhibition include hand drawings, microscope slides, and logs from scientists.
One of the other things that we focused on with that case is a number of the herbs that were used, just depending on the use. They would have beneficial uses, but just like with anything, there could also be other uses that maybe were not so great.
The exhibition will be open from 9 to 5 from Monday through Friday through October 17th. The exhibition is open to the general public as well as class visits.
After a weekend away game at LA Tech, the Golden Eagles are back at the Rock this Saturday for their matchup against Jacksonville State.
Our SMTV weather anchor Gabby Cox has your Saturday game day forecast. Gabby?
Thanks, Stephanie and Kiara. This Saturday's forecast is going to be as usual, hot and sunny. We'll have temperatures with a high of 90 during tailgating and cooling down later during the day with a low of 66. Try to stay cool while cheering on your Golden Eagles. After the break, we'll look into our 7-day forecast. Don't go anywhere.
Does your furniture store check all the boxes? At Furniture Direct, we check all the boxes and then some. Lowest price guarantee, name brand quality, 0% interest financing, locally owned and operated, local warehouse, which means you buy it today and get it today. At Furniture Direct, we pay less so you pay less. Name brands like Ashley, Flex Steel, Franklin, Catnapper, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Posturepedic, and more. Furniture Direct in Hattiesburg, Columbia, and Laurel, your furniture and mattress destination.
The Roy Howard Community Journalism Center, amplifying truth and combating false information across Southeast Mississippi, reporting what matters and giving control to the community. With our What is True hotline, we're fighting back against misinformation and disinformation, making sure our communities get the facts straight from the source. Through trusted journalism and a dedicated fact-checking process, we ensure every story is accurate and fair. The Roy Howard Community Journalism Center at the University of Southern Mississippi, reporting what matters through the Scripps Howard Foundation. Visit rhcjcnews.com to learn more.
Now, from SMTV News, here's your Golden Eagle forecast.
Welcome back, Golden Eagles. Let's take a look at the weather for the rest of the week. In Hattiesburg, Thursday kicks things off with a high of 84 degrees. Not too bad. There's a low of 69, but try to stay dry with that 89% chance of rain. Over in the Gulf Park campus in Long Beach, there's relatively the same, with the high of 87 and a low of 74, and a slightly lower rain chance coming in at 84%. Nonetheless, make sure you have an umbrella. Moving into Friday in Long Beach, we'll see a steady temperature with a high of 86 and a low of 73. Rain is still very likely at 87%. In Hattiesburg, we'll be experiencing the same weather of a high of 84 and a low of 70, with an 82% chance of rain. As we discussed earlier, Saturday in Hattiesburg will be hot and sunny with no rain. Over in Gulf Park, there'll also be a slightly cooler high of 85 and a low of 70. Golden Eagles down there are also in the clear for the rain. Now let's get into that 7-day forecast. In Hattiesburg, we start the new week Sunday with cloudy skies, a high of 89 and a comfortable low of 63. Monday is the same with a high of 90 and no rain, but a slight difference in low temps with 62 degrees. Tuesday is bringing that heat at a 90 high and a 64 low. Wednesday gets even hotter with a high of 92 and a low nice of 66. Look out for rain that day because there's an 83% chance. Over in Long Beach, the weather will be a bit cooler. Sunday and Monday bring a high of 85 and a low of 70 and 69. Tuesday is a nice 84 high and a 69 low. Finishing off Wednesday, there's a high of 82 and low of 72. Gulf Park is lucky with that 0% chance of rain. So how are you guys feeling about this rain we're going to have coming up?
I'm really looking forward to those days with 0% chance of rain. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to put my rain boots on and my umbrella.
Honestly, yeah, but I'm also kind of looking forward to those rainy night naps, you know. I feel like the rain will do us a little bit of justice.
I know what you mean. Well, thank you, Gabby, for that weather segment.
September 16th is marked as National Voters Registration Day this year, a day committed to spreading awareness about voter registration opportunities and celebrating democracy. Here on campus, students can get involved and register right where they are. Mississippi Votes USM hosts a tabling here on campus to give students the opportunity to register to vote. Volunteers were available at different stations to help students with registration process. Students also had a chance to learn about the ballot selections, different elections, and voting polls. Some students even discussed why voting is important to them. USM junior Yovante Nyland said voting is important because things like college costs is decided by the people we elect.
It's like things like college costs and stuff like that, and relief. All that is decided by the people that you vote in.
Mississippi Votes USM co-president Rosalind Willis says it's important for students to know about voting now and the resources that are here on campus to help.
So it is really important, especially times now where voter turnout is not the best, that we place an emphasis on making sure they have their rights, making sure where to vote, how to vote, who to vote for, where to go, where to learn, and you know, you can only do that by meeting them where they're at.
For information about voting registration here in Mississippi, visit msvotes.org.
A local cleaning service is scrubbing away more than just dirt. They're also helping clean up food insecurity in the community. Randy Gardner, who is a Hattiesburg resident and a member of the United House of Prayer for All People, recently launched the Blessing Boxes initiative, an outreach program aimed at providing free food and essential supplies to anyone in need. The boxes are filled with non-perishable food items, but there's also a growing need for baby supplies and hygiene products. Gardner says this effort has been met with a strong support and no major obstacles. In just 1 month, the community has already filled the boxes with a generous outpouring of donations. Looking ahead, she hopes to find a way to keep food cold, which will allow for expanded offerings like fresh produce and refrigerated items. The Blessing Box is currently located at 5050 Old Highway 42 at the United House of Prayer for All People.
The Southern Miss Alumni Association has announced new inductees to its Hall of Fame. Each honoree represents the best of what it means to be a Golden Eagle, bringing honor to the university and inspiration to future generations.
You know, when you look at any Hall of Fame, you look at the overall resume of everyone that's kind of come out and what they've done in their entire lifetime. And one of the biggest things that you always want to focus on here is, you know, how have they gone into whether it be their professional or personal life and best represented what Southern Miss stands for. And so when you look at this group of individuals, and there's a lot of amazing men and women who've graduated from Southern Miss and gone to do some very amazing things in this country and globally for that matter. And so you got to take all of that into consideration. So when you say this, these are the people who best represent every single value and tradition that exists here at Southern Miss. And so you look at everything from what they've done as a professional, how they've impacted their community, how have they gone above and beyond, you know, to be and show what that Southern Miss grit really is all about.
Coming up after the break, SMTV sports anchor Gavin Blackshear recaps last week's game with the Golden Eagles falling to LA Tech. That and more after these messages.
The Sleep Shop at Furniture Direct offers the largest selection of Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster, which means you can buy it today and sleep on it tonight. Come experience the cooling comfort of Tempur-Pedic, the ultimate support of Stearns & Foster, and of course, the most trusted name in sleep, Sealy Posturepedic. Why settle for less when you can sleep on a Sealy for $4.99, plus get the sheets and pillows for free? The Sleep Shop at Furniture Direct in Hattiesburg, Columbia, and Laurel.
Are you a Mississippi University College enrolled junior or senior pursuing an exciting career in broadcasting? The Mississippi Association of Broadcasters is offering scholarships to help qualified college students realize their dreams. Mississippi radio and TV broadcasters are looking for the best of the best to work in a variety of rewarding positions. Apply today and learn more. Visit msbroadcasters.org and click on the Students link. Applications must be received by October 17th. Apply today.
Now, time for your SMTV Sports.
What's going on, Golden Eagles? I'm Gavin Blackshear, your SMTV Sports anchor. We have a loaded sports segment for y'all, so let's get right into it. After pulling off a 38-22 victory over App State last week, the Golden Eagles headed to Ruston, Louisiana last Saturday to take on the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. The game reignited the long-standing rivalry in Dixie between the former Conference USA foes, and LA Tech showed no mercy as the Bulldogs came out the gates attacking the Golden Eagles on both sides of the ball, taking an early commanding lead. Despite USM finding its rhythm in the second half, LA Tech proved to be too dominant, eventually defeating the Golden Eagles 30-20. But there were some bright spots for USM. Quarterback Braylon Braxton passed for 392 yards, while receiver Carl Chester hauled in 5 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. The Golden Eagles will return to the Rock this Saturday as they host the reigning Conference USA champions, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. and the game will be televised on ESPN+. Now let's hit that thing over to volleyball. USM hosted the Golden Eagle Classic last weekend where they defeated Grambling State, Northwestern State, and Jackson State. Now 8-3 on the season, USM begins conference play tonight at 6 o'clock, hosting the ULM Warhawks. That series wraps up tomorrow night with another 6 o'clock matchup between the two teams. Well, that's all for me. This has been your SMTV Sports segment. I'm your main man, Gavin Blackshear, and as always, Southern Miss to the top.
Hattiesburg is about to rename a downtown street after one of its most influential citizens. SMTV's Kennedy Drake has more.
One of Hattiesburg's most well-known leaders has given back to the community for decades. Now, Hattiesburg is returning the favor by renaming Pearl Street in his honor. Dr. Eddie Holloway was the first African-American dean of students for the University of Southern Mississippi. As a Hattiesburg native, he was also the first of 2 African-Americans elected for the City Council in 1985. This month, the Hattiesburg City Council voted unanimously to rename portions of Pearl Street to Dr. Eddie Holloway Drive.
I think that Dr. Holloway's commitment to this city, the impact he's had on Hattiesburg and the University of Southern Mississippi, it was only fitting to recognize him with such a high honor. And like I said, as someone that, he was a mentor of mine when I was in school, I just have so much respect for the way he carries himself, the way he represents this university and this city.
Dr. Holloway now serves on the Hattiesburg Public Schools District Board of Trustees. After more than 40 years at USM, what excites Dr. Holloway the most is seeing students succeed.
I think my greatest thrill is to see students develop and to see students experience those new possibilities and new opportunities that perhaps they never envisioned as a result of some task or some effort that I could entice them to participate in.
Dr. Eddie Holloway Drive will stretch from 40th Avenue to Golden Eagle Avenue on the Southern Miss campus. The street will officially be renamed in mid-October with the dedication ceremony shortly after. For Hattiesburg, this renaming isn't just about a street, it's about honoring a man who has shaped both the city and the university for generations. Kennedy Drake, SMTV.
Mississippi is looking at new limits on what families can buy with SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. If the state follows what others have done, soda, candy, and other sugary snacks could be banned. Sammy Jordan with the Roy Howard Community Journalism Center shows us how the proposal might change grocery trips and what nutrition experts say about healthier swaps.
Mississippi leaders are considering a waiver that would restrict some foods bought with SNAP benefits. It's something registered dietitian Alicia Landry says would impact more than cost.
I think our bodies, it's arguable, but our bodies are, evolutionarily designed to crave sugar and salt. It's used as a preservative, and so we've had these in our foods as long as we've had processed food. So switching from that can be difficult, and you'll have physiological reaction to that.
The move stems from the federal Make America Healthy Again initiative, which encourages states to remove soda and junk foods from the program. A dozen states already have waivers taking effect in 2026. If Mississippi joins them, families could still buy soda and candy, but likely only be paying out of pocket. SNAP serves nearly 13% of Mississippi's population. More than 2/3 live in families with children, and over 40% include an older adult or someone with a disability. While the conversation about a waiver is just starting in Mississippi, Landry says small, steady changes could help make the transition easier and help families make healthier choices.
So maybe taking out one sugar sweetened beverage a day and replacing that with water or flavored water or milk, and then just progressing that until you are, you don't have those in your diet anymore.
She recommends swaps like pretzels or popcorn for snack cakes, or fruit and yogurt for sweetness without added sugar. A medium apple, she says, has about half the sugar of a 12-ounce soda. I'm Sammy Jordan, reporting for the Roy Howard Community Journalism Center.
Whether Mississippi files a waiver or not, Landry says understanding how SNAP works and who depends on it helps families, resellers, and policymakers prepare for any changes. Governor Tate Reeves has confirmed the idea on his radar, but he has not yet reviewed a formal proposal. Coming up next, new Mississippi driver license test requirements have some Mississippi residents divided.
And Visit Hattiesburg is seeking more ways to make Hattiesburg beautiful. SMTV News will return after these messages.
Are you waking up with the bed aches? At Furniture Direct, we have the solution, the all-new Sealy Posturepedic. Sealy is the brand. Posturepedic is the technology to give you the restful sleep you deserve. Sealy is the most trusted name in sleep, and at Furniture Direct, we have the largest selection at the lowest price allowed by the factory. Buy it today and sleep on it tonight, plus take months to pay 0% interest. Furniture Direct in Hattiesburg, Columbia, and Laurel, your furniture and mattress destination.
To make sure our futures took off, we joined the Mississippi Army National Guard. With part-time service, we were able to get paid training in the aviation field. We learned skills that helped us get started down the path to a great civilian career. And this is just one out of the hundreds of jobs the Mississippi Army National Guard can train you for. You can learn a trade and earn money for school, all while serving close to home and being there for your community. See what your future could look like by going to nationalguard.com/ms.
The Hattiesburg Alliance for Public Art has begun the search for new artists looking to paint utility boxes around Hattiesburg. The Utility Box project, started in 2020 in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, has aimed to bring a new look to the art scene in the hub city. Visit Hattiesburg CEO Marlo Dorsey says the project is in its fourth phase, with roughly 44 boxes already painted. The Alliance is reaching out to the community to find artists for this phase and promise to this deed will not go unnoticed.
During the pandemic, when we first started doing these utility box series, we had a series of 12 boxes where we wanted quotes put on those. But these utility boxes that we're working on right now, each artist selected will receive a $500 stipend to complete each utility box.
Interested artists can apply for the project by visiting the Alliance's website at www.hberg-art.com and clicking on Call for Artists.
It's now easier than ever to get your driver's license in Mississippi, but not all residents feel like it's a good thing. Drivers in Mississippi no longer have to take the road test to acquire their license. They are only required to take a computerized quiz and hold their permit for 1 year. A parent or legal guardian must then sign off when their child has driven a certain number of miles, with an exception if they are over the age of 18. Some people feel like this is a good thing because it helps to test taking anxiety that may cause someone to fail the road test portion, or because it could make it easier for applications to get their license. On the other hand, others feel that this isn't a positive change because parents could possibly lie and sign on their child, or because they feel it is not adequate way of testing if someone is ready to drive the roads. Ms. first made the change in the September of 2021 because the test had been significantly reduced. In May of 2024, Governor Tate Reeves signed a Senate Bill 2695 into law, which expands drivers' education in public schools.
Thank you so much for watching SMTV News. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to SM2 on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Get all of our newscasts, SMTV original program, and even stream to student radio, WSM FM, all available at sm2media.com.
Got a news tip? Email it to sm2news@usm.edu.
And don't forget the latest issue of the Student Prince newspaper is out now. Pick up your copy today.
All right, guys, so how's school going for you guys?
So far, I think it's going pretty good. The only thing I'm worried about is my midterms. I really want to pass all of them and then also get some good grades. How about y'all?
Ooh, speaking of midterm, I'm just trying to make it though.
I understand that because homework has been kicking my butt, but I think we got it.
Yeah, I completely understand. All the reading I have to do this semester is absolutely insane. So, but thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next edition of SMTV News. I'm Stephanie Perez Munoz.
And I'm Kiara Fox. Always remember, Southern Miss
to the top.